Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Glass Floor Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about gender equalism and generally just, how to look at both sides of gender, male, female, and finding the in between. As you may notice, we're called the Glass Floor, but today, we are the glass wall. This is a show that's sponsored by NCFM, the National Coalition for Men, which was founded in 1977. They are a nonpartisan, diverse, inclusive group which has been helping fight discrimination against men and boys and the families that love them for many years. And with that, let's get into our episode and a jokingly new identity of being the glass wall.
Thank you, Katrina. Yes, the glass wall. Well, we all know what the glass ceiling is. The glass ceiling is that which tends to thwart woman's rise to the top. And we have defined the glass floor, the name of this podcast, as that which tends to safeguard women from sinking to the extreme bottom. Today, I want to introduce the concept of the glass wall. So what is that? Let's see the next. It's this. I'm going to have there's you know the actor Tim Allen, right? I mean, he was starred in all those Galaxy Quest movies as the captain, and he was in Home Improvement, right? He was interviewed by a woman named Camille Paglia, who's a genius in these matters of gender. And she's often got to the finish line before anybody. She goes way back. And so she was interviewing him, and he, it's not easy for men to open up and really reveal their vulnerability, their inner pain. It's contrary to what it is to be a man, you see. So I admire what Tim Allen says here. He says he's talking about his experience as a father, a new father. And he says, the birth of a child. My wife's going, oh, and I see them in love in a room. And my eyes are like, I'm looking at Macy's, at toys I'll never own. I'll never have that. And the two of them, these little coos. And I was like, whoa, I shrunk down to this little man. And he thinks to himself, so what I have to do is somehow, I have to get some reason for them to need me. See, because from his point of view, it looks, mother and child appear to be complete, you see. And he feels like he's just looking through a glass wall at this mother-child nexus that emotionally doesn't appear to need him, right? So what he feels he has to do is what men have been doing for millennia. He feels he needs to add extrinsic value onto himself. He needs to go out and make money, and then mother and child will depend on him the way he depends on them. To really understand the sting, the pain, the hurt that the glass wall can inflict upon a man, you have to understand that the cost of being shut out or rendered less than within the world of women is equal to the cost, the pain, the hurt that women experience when they're shut out or rendered less than within the world of men. What the man is deprived of, the woman is deprived, we know, prestige, paycheck, things along the respect axis. What men suffer is a loss of things along the love axis. That means he suffers a loss of physical and emotional intimacy that historically, traditionally, men could not get from other men,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was dependent upon a woman for that. Relationship, vulnerability, love, marriage, home, family, parenting, social fabric, children, many of the major archetypes of our lives. So this is why, historically and even prehistorically, men were obligated or felt pressure or felt the need to do whatever it takes to gain entrance to the world of women. Here I have an example that probably describes the way it's been all the way back to the Pleistocene, right?
Yeah.
So Papua New Guinea, it's isolated, it's deep in the rainforest. And the tribes there are much the same as they've been for thousands of years. No, they only just recently became aware of the Western world. So they do things in a profoundly ancient way. And so I want to describe to you at least partly of what the initiates go through in order to become a man. All right, I'm not going to go into all the gory detail. All right, but I'm quoting now from National Geographic.
I would put on the record though, some of the tactics that do, not tactics, but some of the things that people consider ancient, just because of how dense the rainforest is sometimes the only way you have to survive. I'm not saying what you're about to read is okay, but I'm just saying some people are like, oh, they don't have internet, they don't have this. Well, it's a little hard to take and move a rainforest for a grid. And it's a little hard to fight off a snake with your selfie stick.
Yeah, I'm not putting them down because they've followed. Of course, they still do things the way they've always done because the conditions
I know you're not putting them down. I'm just letting other people know. There's gonna be some people who are seeing this. They're like, why can't they be like us?
You have to head them off at the pass, right? Those people that are going to find a way to object or be offended. Yeah.
They're going to be like, I just understand why they can't advance. Well, Heather, have you been in the rainforest? I'm going to tell you, it's a different kind of experience.
It's rainy, man. There's no need for a weatherman in the rainforest. It's rain tomorrow.
It's rain today. It's rain tomorrow. It's rain for the next week.
That's right. All right. So according to National Geographic here, it says, there is no set age for the right, but no one can be considered a man until he's been scarred with the mark of the crocodile. You probably might have seen that. In the last group of initiates, they had one die. So this makes us afraid, quoting one of the initiates. The men's bodies are racked with pain through the long, excruciating day, but they get no anesthetic to dull the pain. The boy's skin is pulled and cut about 100 times. The cuts are deliberately infected, so they'll puff up into a permanent crocodile pattern, right? And it goes on and on. It goes on about, I'm not going to, because it gets gross, what they do, puncturing the tongue, and, you don't even want to know. And, but the point I'll make here, I'll say, yes, I know, female genital mutilation. Yes, I know we're going to get, that's, we're not trying to say that women have the power and men are the victims. We're not trying to flip the script, right? We just want to say that there's this other half of gender reality, okay? And the point I want to make here is the more warlike the culture, unfortunately, the Papua have neighboring tribes that, have been at war for a long time. And, the males are the ones that are going to go and fight it out. And so both sides feel the need to toughen them up, right? So that they'll be warriors
Mm-hmm.
and protect the tribe.
And it's considered a great honor to be a warrior.
Yeah.
Also, for
Well,
visualization
that's
purposes, for those of you trying to think crocodile skin, Black Panther, first one, not the second one. Not saying the second one's not good. It is. But first one, main villain.
yeah, that's right.
The entire backside, yes.
Yeah.
That's what they're describing as the crocodile. Like.
And they look terrifying, which is the idea, of course.
Mm.
All right. Says the stakes are high. A boy may not marry or take on the privileges of adulthood until he has completed the rite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's pressure. All right. And so the initiations are brutal, and one may ask, so why do males endure such tortures? And says one of the initiates, I am born here to be a man, to protect my family, tribe, and people. It's a matter of honor and to be respected, right? Men more respected but less loved, women more loved but less protected. What? I got that wrong. Men more loved but less respected, women more no.
Men
You say
more
it for me, will you?
Yeah. Men more respected, less loved. Women more loved, less respected.
Like she said. That's easy for you to say. All right. Yeah, so this is how that love-respect dynamic plays out. And there I quoted the initiate. Here I'm going to quote the initiate's father. And he says, those who become too scared to participate eventually find out that they are less attractive to women. Mm-hmm. They live a miserable life as bachelors until the time of their deaths. Well, yeah. To be shut out of the world of women carries consequences as deep and as painful as the consequences that women have faced for being shut out of the world of men, historically. And so that's why these initiates will do whatever it takes to break through the glass wall to gain entrance to the world of women. You gain partial entrance into the world of women when you have created a bond with one woman, but you gain entrance into the world of women when you marry that woman, and then you are sort of brought into the social fabric that way. And then you can have children, you see, and then you can be a parent and so on. And then you get the emotional richness that the world of women contains.
The way you sort of described it earlier slightly now, and this isn't going to be fully accurate, but it sort of reminds me of in Harry Potter. I know I'm using a lot of movie references, bear with me. And I believe it is the first movie. Yeah, it's the first movie with Quirrell and Voldemort's on his head. And it reminds me of the Mirror of Erised. And when Harry looked into the mirror, he saw his mother and he saw his father, two things he couldn't have. Right. He saw what he wanted most. That's how Dumbledore described it. Right. He wanted a family. He wanted the feeling of belonging. Yeah. When Ron looked, he saw the cup, which gave him respect within his family and also with the school and popularity and girl and whatever else he saw in there.
Because Ron already had family, plenty of family, so that's not, he didn't want for family, but
he wanted to come out as unique. He wanted to be the person they're proud of. He wanted to
high status and get the women too.
Yeah. And Harry wanted a family. Yeah. And so they were seeing what they wanted, but it was on the other side of this mirror.
This glass wall,
that unfortunately only shows you what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right, that is kind of like Harry was kind of looking at the glass wall. At this point, he couldn't have these things. He couldn't have the love. He couldn't have the intimacy. He couldn't have the...
He had never had the family.
Right. So, That's what he wanted most. Another aspect of the glass wall. So for millennia, the realms of birth were strictly and purely in the hands of women. There was a midwife,
Mm-hmm.
and she had all these secrets, medical knowledge, basically, right? She had many understandings of how this works, and she kept those secrets. Men were shut out of the place of birth. There's a famous story, probably apocryphal, but some king holding court, and he's like, "I am your husband, and I am the father of that child, and I want to be there at its birth." And according to the story, some dowager type, some older woman with power, came along and just shamed him right to the floor. Like, how dare you seek to uh, not respect the sanctity of women? And, you know, there's a woman working female modes of power to bring down the king. So by the end, the king was, oh, all right, okay, I'll just stay out. All right.
I don't know exactly that one, but I'm pretty. I realize TV shows aren't accurate, but in actual research, though, for those who watch Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte and her husband King George the Sixth? Question mark. Someone can correct me on that. Whatever number King George he was.
Uh-huh.
Um, my understanding, the show's not the most historically accurate, but supposedly this scene from the show is accurate, where when she was giving birth to their children, especially their first child, he was fretting in the hallways. He was trying to find the physician, this and that. And he ran over to her, and supposedly either the archbishop or his mother, historically accurate. In the movie, it's the archbishop, but I believe it was his own mother in real life. The dowager queen, the queen mother,
Uh-huh.
tried to stop him because men weren't supposed to go into the room because it was womanly footwork and it was like contagious or something. And something around the lines of he said a threat. And he was like, "Do you think you can continue being where you are if I'm the king of England?" And got himself in there
I see.
into the room where it happened.
Oh gosh. So okay, I guess there's just the one more point. Yeah. So the one more point to make is that men did not crack that particular glass wall until the 1970s,
Mm.
and when they were finally allowed into the delivery room. Note that well before then, the anesthesiologist could be there.
Well, God, we'd hope.
Yeah, well, I know, but the thing is that men with practical value could be
Yeah.
there, but not the husband father. So when he first gained entrance, that was a seminal moment for men, because here he was valued not just because he was going to pay for it all, but because he could offer nurturance, hold the hand of his wife and mother to be, and in that he was being granted an innate value for what he could give innately in terms of nurturance and reassurance,
Mm.
and um, and so he could be valued not just as a human doing, but as a human being. It was a big shift,
Mhm.
one of countless shifts in gender that we've seen in the last 100 years.
And now it's sort of expected too. That'd just be the couple, the husband, the wife, and sometimes the mother
Hmm. What do you mean?
in the delivery room.
In the delivery room. Yeah, right, but not until the 70s. was that
Yeah.
before that father was shut out. He didn't get to.
He didn't get going at all.
Nah.
But it's such a shift. He couldn't go in, then he could go in, but it was like an option, and now they're just like, "Dad, you coming?"
Right. The expectation now. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Things change. Why don't you take us out?
Well, thank you, Tim. That has been the glass wall for this time. Hopefully, you will maybe take some time to consider what your glass wall is looking like. What is it, the thing that you want? And maybe you have to think of ways of how to look at it differently to get there. Obviously, Harry couldn't bring back his family, but you can find ways to get to where you want to go. But with that, we will see you next episode. I'm Katrina.
I'm Tim. Thanks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment.
Comment down below.
Be sure to tell us what we got wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Or, if you feel like complimenting.
Yeah.
We'll take that too.